There's never a dull moment in fantasy. Let's break down the signings of Dalvin Cook and Zeke Elliott. So Zeke Elliott signed a one-year deal with the Patriots today worth up to $6 million. And if you're a big believer in Stevenson like I am, this isn't quite the news you wanted to hear. But honestly, this should come as no surprise. The Patriots are super thin at running back and need some insurance for Stevenson. Pierre Strong missed practice today. Ty Montgomery went down early in camp. JJ Taylor isn't doing much. Kevin Harris isn't doing much. And they needed to make sure that their best playmaker had some breathing room. Last year, he really got gassed out towards the end of the season. And I think we all kind of suffered for that as fantasy players. Stevenson finished as an RB7 last year, and I have him ranked as the RB8 going into this year. And I think even with the signing of Elliott, I would keep him right there. Stevenson is a far superior playmaker. He's younger, and he has a much bigger role on passing downs. I can see Elliott being brought in for short yardage situations, so he'll probably vulture some touchdowns and be used on pass blocking situations like certain ones, but nothing that's going to diminish Stevenson's role in this offense. This offense is built around him. We saw what he can do last year, and I'm sure he's going to pick up where he left off. Let's not forget he did this with Damian Harris in the lineup last year. And yes, Harris was in and out with some injuries, but even when Harris was in the lineup, Stevenson was clearly the alpha. At this stage of his career, Elliott's basically a plotter. He averaged 3.8 yards per carry last year, and aside from touchdowns, he had career lows across the board, finishing as the RB22. So maybe for insurance, I would draft Elliott as a handcuff if you do draft Stevenson, but I wouldn't worry too much about Stevenson's workload being impacted. On to Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook signed a one-year deal with the Jets today worth up to $8.6 million. This kind of explains why Aaron Rodgers took that $35 million pay cut. He wanted to make sure he gave himself and the Jets a chance to truly make a run at winning a Super Bowl. And I think this is the piece that they needed. While that's great in real life, it's not necessarily the best news in fantasy. I had Breece Hall pegged as the RB11, and I think he does fall down the rankings a little bit. Jahmyr Gibbs was 12 in my books, and I think Gibbs kind of leapfrogs him now. I think Hall is going to be brought in slow. That's basically why they signed Cook. They wanted the ability to not rush their superstar running back, and I think Cook allows for that. Cook's going to definitely have value in the beginning of the season, and if you do draft Hall, you'll definitely want to draft Cook as a handcuff. But even if you don't draft Hall, I would still reach for Cook in the 5th round. Cook should have standalone value for sure. He finished as the RB11 last year. So he definitely is still a playmaker, and I can see this kind of being a 1A, 1B situation, almost like A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, but I wouldn't put Cook in the same category as Dillon. Cook is definitely a better playmaker, and I think if they do decide to bring Hall along slowly, then Cook may get enough boost from the beginning of the year to help him finish inside of the top 20. Those are my thoughts on the situation. Please subscribe and leave your thoughts on the situation below, and if you want more in-depth analysis like this, check out my other videos.